This is a modified pigeon plus cat-cow. A typical pigeon pose typically takes us out into a lot of external rotation in the leg and may not feel comfortable for everyone. So I love doing kind of a modified pigeon. So essentially we're in a little bit of a hip shift. I'm taking the yoga block, placing it underneath, in this case, my right knee. And I'm gonna think about really driving my right knee in, so I'm not just kind of collapsing with the upper body. I'll show you from a few different angles. And in this position, I'm gonna kind of swivel my leg. So notice I'm pushing through and I kind of swivel here. I'm going to drop this back left knee and I'm going to kind of come into this position, walking my hands over to this right side. So a couple things in this position. So I'm going to show this other angle. When I place my right knee on, I'm going to drop this left knee back. I'm going to kind of go backwards, swivel, and allow this left knee to kind of cradle my right knee. In this position, I want to make sure that I'm not kind of side bending to the right. So I want to unhike this right hip and stay long from my rib cage to the booty here. And I'm going to kind of walk my hands over to this right side. So in this position, I'm getting a nice stretch through that right glute. And this is kind of that modified pigeon that I mentioned, kind of cradling and kind of watching that hike, which is going to want to happen, especially on that right side. So unhike, kind of walk your hands over to that right side. And in this position, this is where I'm going to perform those cat-cows. So I'm going to think about inhale to round, kind of almost tucking my tailbone underneath me. Exhale, come forward. So in this position, there's a couple things happening. I'm not moving through my upper body. I'm not in a full cat-cow variation that we normally see in yoga. I'm only moving through the pelvis. So I have my right knee on the block, kind of going into that swivel, cradling. I'm walking my right hands or my hands over to that right side just a tiny bit. So I'm over that side, not too exaggerated, but just kind of getting that shift of the upper body. I'm pushing through the upper body so that I'm not overly rounding or I'm kind of just like sagging and hanging out my joints. So in this position, I'm going to think about inhale, kind of tuck the pelvis slightly, keep that push. Exhale, untuck the pelvis. So think of it like a cat-cow for your lower body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Feels really good in the low back. Exhale. Untuck. Inhale. Allow the pelvic floor to lengthen. Exhale, pelvic floor, slight lift. Feeling those abs on as you kind of allow the pelvis to come forward. Inhale and exhale. So this is your modified pigeon with cat-cow.